Mabuhay and welcome back to ZiSy Stories channel. Terima kasih for being here. And for today's video reaction, we are going to react from Malaysia. Yes guys, before we've reacted about how Malaysia did the impossible COVID-19, but this time we are going to react from the video Top 15 Mistakes in Locked Up in Malaysia's Lockdown video by Al Jazeera. Yes guys, there are a lot of speculations and also video from Al Jazeera that it is a one-sided news against Malaysia. So, we'll see these top 15 mistakes that other side of the truth notice. Shout out to this guy because he is always making a great video. So, without further ado, here's the top 15 mistakes in Locked Up in Malaysia's Lockdown video by Al Jazeera. Okay guys, here we go.
This is a recent video that was published, and unfortunately, it has so many mistakes, and so we're going to pick the top 15 to cover today. Number 15, taking videos and footages of police and military.
I've got my ID. Look, this is my ID.
No.
I'm from the press. Again.
That's a big no-no.
No camera, please.
If it's
But we're within our
lockdown,
rights to report.
even
from
though
here.
you're media, you are not allowed to
But
enter.
This lockdown area.
Look
Throughout
at
the
that.
entire world, you really can't be taking footage of police and military. So many countries that's
I
illegal. Even in the United States, if you took video footage of the security around the White House, that could get you thrown in jail. Well, Al Jazeera thinks that because they're reporters, they're above everybody else. Number 14, complaining that they weren't allowed into high-risk areas of COVID-19.
We're not allowed inside these fenced-off areas.
Now,
Common
I don't
sense.
know if they don't realize how COVID-19 works. It spreads
Yes.
pretty easily. And so if they were able to go into an area that was high
Look
risk,
at that, guys.
they
It
could
gives me
easily
chills.
pick
I
up
don't know what
COVID-19, especially
Al
when you
Jazeera
look at
wanted
the video
to
footage
let
and
us
realize
know.
that lots of times they weren't wearing a mask, or
Look
they
at
only
that.
were wearing a mask. I mean, look at how many doctors who
PPE,
were
yes.
completely prepared, had tons of protection, picked up COVID-19. Number 13, blocking comments. You need to always allow comments, but in this video, they have blocked all comments on YouTube.
They
You need
don't
to allow
want
people
to
be able
get
point
a
out
negative
when you
comment,
don't do things
and
that
that
are
is
accurate,
why
or when you
they
do
blocked
things really
that.
biased. But if you don't allow comments, people can't point those out. And I just think as a reporter, it's so
Yes, agree.
unprofessional to block comments. I really don't think YouTube should allow that. Number 12, complaining that the government never responded.
Several requests to interview the senior minister, home minister, and his deputy.
And of course, who are
All right, Mr.
you?
Drew Ambrose. Well,
That's
the government's a
freaking-
little bit busy.
That's
They're fighting
freaking
this
bad.
thing called COVID-19, which is extremely deadly and spreads super
Agree.
easy. And sorry, they probably didn't have time to answer every single question you had because they're busy
Agree.
fighting the disease. So please, man, get off your high horse. Not everybody can take time out of their life
That
to
Al
serve
Jazeera
you.
should be on the
Right,
jail.
Dude, like, have a reality check. Number 11, forgetting how racism works.
Is this the practical reality of dealing with a pandemic?
Oh,
or
come
is it
on.
racism?
Okay, if you're not aware, racism was mentioned multiple times in the video. How racism works is where you judge a group of people based
Agree.
on their skin color. And in this instance, it would be people of Indian descent or people that look Indian. And if you're not aware, there are multiple Malaysians, actually over 7% of Malaysians are of Indian descent. They look exactly like migrant workers that are both legal and illegal. So if the Malaysian government was racist, they would be targeting anybody that looked Indian, Bangladeshi, or Pakistani. But the Malaysian government specifically was doing things for illegal immigrants. And anyone that was of Indian descent that was Malaysian, they were fine. They had no complaints. So this is clearly not a racism
Agree.
issue. This is an illegal immigration issue. And those
Yes.
are different things. To call it racism is just
Agree.
completely wrong
Agree.
and out of place. Number 10, ignoring countries that are extremely racist towards their migrant workers. I've traveled all around the world and I have several friends that are migrant workers. And there are several places where I discovered that people were very racist towards migrant workers. And actually in Malaysia, migrant workers are treated better than almost anywhere else in the world. Here, locals of a different country call legal migrant workers lazy, messy, unhygienic.
That's freaking bad.
Number 9, treating illegal migrant workers like they're all victims. Illegal migrant workers have specifically not obeyed the law and are working
Agree.
illegally. Even in your own video, you have a human rights lawyer, somebody that really supports undocumented and illegal migrant workers. And she points out that this illegal migrant worker didn't do anything and that she can't really support him because he put in no effort to try to be legal.
Okay, did he attempt to go to the Labor Department to file a case against his employer?
And throughout this video, you often show that they are victims when they could have just put in some effort to make sure that they obeyed the law and got a working visa. Number 8, saying the jobs that migrant workers are working, Malaysians don't want to work. And it's probably true. There are several jobs that Malaysians would prefer that migrant workers did. But in the video, you show how there used to be 60 jobs at the market that migrant workers worked. And when they set out applications, they had over 500 Malaysians apply for that job. So clearly, in this job, Malaysians wanted to work it, but their jobs were taken by migrant workers.
Mohammed ran a recruitment drive to replace the foreign workers with locals. 500 Malaysians applied for just 60 positions.
Number 7, never acknowledging that illegal migrant workers put the entire country at huge risk for COVID-19. See, illegal migrant workers are working illegally. It's in the name. And because they're working illegally, they're not registered. The government doesn't even know if they're probably in the country or where they live or who they work for, and there's no way to track them. And so with COVID, it's so important to track and trace everybody that gets COVID. For example, look at what China did and what Taiwan did and what South Korea did and Japan. All these countries that were extremely good at fighting COVID-19 were able to track everybody in their country and who had it and who didn't. But when you have 4 million illegal immigrants and there's no way to trace them, you're putting your entire country at huge risk. And putting this in the video is so important because then people can kind of understand why the Malaysian government might be trying to figure out who's illegal in Malaysia, because it affects the safety of all Malaysians. Number 6, acting like sitting in the sun and getting questioned about if you're legally working in Malaysia is like the worst thing in the world.
He says his whole family, including his son and daughter, were handcuffed and chained together with other children and the elderly under the hot sun. They were only released hours later after authorities verified their documents.
Alright, right now COVID-19 is happening. There are so many children around the world that are losing parents to COVID-19 and are going to be raised without their father or mother. And you are upset that a daughter had to sit out in the sun? I mean, if this is the worst thing that happens in your COVID-19 experience, you are very blessed because so many people around the world would give anything to be able to sit out in the sun a few hours and know that their country is safe. Number 5, forgetting that everybody is going through a really hard time right now. It's not just the legal migrant workers or the migrant workers. Malaysians as well are going through a hard time. So many Malaysians have lost their job. So many Malaysians are struggling right now. And to focus that the only people struggling are illegal migrant workers and migrant workers is unfair. Everybody is going through a hard time. Number 4, being very misleading and not always honest. For example, handcuffing children. I really don't think this happened. Do you have any footage? Do you have any proof? Do you have anything more than 1 or 2 people saying it happened? This is really bad. And regardless, if children are handcuffed, I mean, it's not the end of the day. It doesn't hurt them. Oh, big deal. I mean, come on. I'm a dentist. I have to treat kids' teeth all the time. That's way worse and way more painful than getting handcuffed. But I do it because it's for the good of the kid overall. So just because something's inconvenient or unpleasant, not everybody lives in a fairy tale land, but regardless, I think that was pretty inaccurate. You also use multiple selective examples. You purposely pick stories and try to show things that made Malaysia look bad. I mean, you look at the end of the video, you purposely pick a mother with a child. Come on, that was set up. You didn't pick a 50-year-old man, you picked a mother with a child. Many Malaysians, especially doctors and nurses, have risked their lives treating COVID-19 positive patients that were illegal immigrants. These illegal immigrants got free care, free food, free clothing, free toiletries, and everything was provided to them. And this makes you wonder how many other things were inaccurate in this video. Number 3, mixing up legal and illegal migrant workers. Hey, listen to this.
And anti-immigration Facebook groups have been telling illegal migrants to go home.
Did you catch it? One word changes the entire structure of the sentence, and that's how media can be very misleading. He says, anti-immigration Facebook group, But the page he's showing
Illegal
is an
immigrants.
anti-illegal immigration Facebook group. And there's a big difference between anti-immigration and
Agree.
anti-illegal immigration.
That is
101
totally
East
different.
investigates why so many foreigners are being locked up in Malaysia's lockdown.
Even in the intro summary, you got it wrong. You're not investigating foreigners, all foreigners. No, you're investigating illegal foreigners. You need to say the word illegal. Number 2, completely not understanding how you fight COVID-19.
Authorities have been carrying out military-style operations across the capital, Kuala Lumpur.
COVID-19 is a time when you need to be strict. You can't allow people moving all around. You need to be very, very strict, because if one person with COVID-19 moves and goes about, they can easily spread it to so many more people. And so COVID-19 is a time that you need to have a military-style lockdown, because that's the only thing that works. It worked in Taiwan, it worked in Hong Kong, it worked in China, it worked in South Korea, and it also worked in Malaysia. And in this video, you make it sound like a military-style lockdown is a bad thing. No, that is an amazingly good thing. And the USA and many other countries in the Americas have not done that, and look at the results.
Number 1.
Wouldn't you rather have a little bit of a military-style lockdown and save thousands of lives? I think most people would be in favor of that. Number 1, never saying the good things about Malaysia. Malaysia is an incredible success story. I would recommend you check out this video or this video. Trust me, they're well done, and the person that made them is pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree to you, man.
Regardless, Malaysia did such an amazing job. I mean, it was amazing to see how people from all different backgrounds, famous and average citizens, all came together for the good of Malaysia. And I think that's really important to talk about in this video when you're going to be talking about COVID-19. And that was completely ignored, and completely wrong to ignore that in making this video. So those were my top 15 things that were mistakes in Malaysia's lockdown video. Did I miss anything? Let me know in the comments. And don't worry, I will keep comments on. And on a personal note, I'm just really, I guess, disappointed that a major media source would basically make things that were very biased, very inaccurate, and not do the proper research, and not even really understand how COVID-19 works, because many of the things that actually help prevent COVID-19, they said were wrong. And if you look at the data and results, obviously it's working in Malaysia and it's working in other Asian countries. And so at a time when people are really suffering and dying, you shouldn't be picking out because some people had to sit out in the sun or were uncomfortable. Let's look at the bigger results. Lives were saved. And if a few people had to be uncomfortable to save a few lives, I think it was definitely worth it.
I agree. Thank you so much, Other Side of the Truth, for that wonderful statement. And that was the top 15 mistakes in Locked Up in Malaysia's Lockdown video by Al Jazeera. And look at that, guys. I'm not saying that all media are biased, but there are some media that are always giving a negative information about your country, especially here in Malaysia. We know that you guys did a great job. Our country is very, very happy to see that the Malaysia is doing great about how they fight this COVID-19. But what Al Jazeera did, that was freaking bad. This is what we call he's giving the misleading information. You know, guys, if you are from Malaysia, you can confirm that. I have a friend in Malaysia, and she's telling me that everything is doing well in Malaysia because their government did a great job. We know that their government trying their best to help on how they can control the spreading of the virus. And of course, if you love your country and if you love your people, of course, you will implement a strict compliance on how to control about the spread of the virus. And I hope that Al Jazeera will notice that. I'm not sure if this man have a heart, but what he is giving an information is a very, very no-no. This is what we call a real misinformation and misleading information that he is giving to the social media. About the video that Al Jazeera released on the social media, that is freaking bad, guys. What he really wanted to show us, guys, that is so biased. And look at that. At the first part of the video, you can see that he is insisting to go inside even though it's locked down. come on guys, here in the Philippines, once it's locked down, you cannot go out or you cannot come in on that specific area. What Al Jazeera wanted to show us, that is so freaking bad. For me, Al Jazeera did not search before he will provide his news, and that was freaking bad. He is putting down the country Malaysia, and what the fudge, Al Jazeera, what do you wanted to show us? Oh, come on. And this is the funny thing, guys. Look at Al Jazeera's video. He is not wearing face mask, and also while he is interviewing someone, he is not wearing face mask. Oh, come on. That is against the law. Here in the Philippines, if you are not wearing mask, someone will going to put you on jail. Who are you and why you are so hard-headed? That is so freaking bad. What do you really wanted to do? You know, it's so frustrating to watch a video that is something like this, that you know that your country is doing great and the government is trying their best to save all our fellow countrymen, and then someone is trying to put you down and someone is trying to put your country down, and that is really bad, because I'm not sure of what he wanted. I'm not sure, he just wanted to be famous and that is why he's doing a negative feedback about Malaysia, but giving a negative feedback will not make you famous. Oh, come on, man. You are such a bad media newscaster. You are really bad. You are not helping the country Malaysia. For me, to be honest, you Al Jazeera, actually, you don't have any contributions about Malaysia on how they fighting with that COVID-19. You don't have any contributions. Instead, you will show us the positive side of it, but it's not. You are just giving a misleading information and you are not giving a true information, and that is really frustrating. That is really bad. That is really bad. And yeah guys, that's all for our video for today, guys. Hope you like my video reaction, and if you have any video suggestions or if you have any comments about my video reaction, just let me know in the comment box section. And I'm sorry for that because I'm so frustrated watching this Al Jazeera. Actually guys, he is not giving a positive news about Malaysia. And yeah, that's it. Like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and see you again on my next vlog. Bye everyone and take care!